Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi, the Joker. This is version 1.5. It's going to be similar to the original release, but it's going to have some different accessories and different features. We will check that out in depth in this video. I ordered mine from AmiAmi.com, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, I don't know, it looks like maybe 60 years of Revoltech. Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi, the Joker version 1.5. DC Comics, the Joker. At the front, you can see him very stylized. One side of the package, Revoltech, Joker 1.5. Other side, you can see the Joker, a couple different poses, looking pretty cool. And to the back, here's the Joker with a bunch of different accessories and a bunch of different display options. Here's the barcode, in case that helps anybody. So with no further ado, let's open it up. And here's a look at the original Amazing Yamaguchi Joker, the 1.0 version. And I did end up getting two of these figures, one of which to open and enjoy, the other one to keep unopened in my complete Batman-related unopened action figure collection. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all of his accessories laid out. He has a ton of cool stuff. He has 10 alternate hands, totaling 12 interchangeable hands, 2 heads, display stand, a little device, I assume for his eye articulation, a replacement peg, crowbar, choker cane, a straight razor, 2 large knives, 6 smaller knives, 6 playing cards, 2 Tommy guns, 3 revolvers, one with a bang flag, and 2 blast effects. Before we take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is the Joker by Amazing Yamaguchi. Very stylized figure. I will start off this video by telling you that I'm an Amazing Yamaguchi hater. I'm not a fan of how these figures look. I'll tell you the Arkham Knight Batman and the Arkham Knight himself were some of the better releases. Catwoman, Harley Quinn were decent. But Deathstroke, the first Batman and Joker, all look, frankly, hideous to me. They have the weird, stylized, sort of anime Asian look to them. And their articulation is just so ugly. Maybe in this video, as I go through this figure, I'll change my mind. But my first impressions are not that good. I do have the 1.0, and now here's the 1.5, which I was hoping would improve on some of my complaints, but it looks like it did not. So, start with his face here. Now, first of all, the actual face sculpt is not that bad. But the neck is super long and ugly. And then look at those shoulder joints. Those ball joints are hideous. Yes, you can work really hard to cover them up, but I don't think I should have to work really hard to cover up these ugly, ugly joints. The elbows are just as ugly. And they just stick out so much, it looks like shit. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Very unimpressed so far. Sure, you can try and sort of cover them up by putting them in these different poses, etc. You know, moving pieces around. It's just a pain in the ass. Now, I have no problem with how the hips look. Stomach articulation, the knees, the ankles, that's all hidden very nicely. But the elbows, the shoulders, and the neck are just hideous. The face sculpt, like I said, it's not horrible, but it's not great either. I like the color scheme. Purple outfit, green vest, orange shirt, little flower. Now the back here is weird. I understand the tail of his coat has articulation, but then he has this extra little hole back there for nothing. It just looks bad. I don't know why it is there. I appreciate the sculpt on the pinstripe pants. It looks like single jointed knees and single jointed elbows, but I believe they get more than single joints worth of articulation. So, mixed feelings on this guy. Some things are really ugly on him, and the 1.5 did not improve on them in any way, shape, or form. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. And it's not the face or the head that I really have a problem with. It's just the neck, those shoulders, those elbows. I mean, look at the closer look at his face. Those shoulders are super distracting. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. And you can actually remove a lot more parts of this guy. The arms, the legs, the torso, they can all pop apart. And that's another thing I don't like about this figure. They come apart too easily. They don't just fall apart, but I don't really like that you can pull them apart. In fact, I don't like when figures like these and some of the Mayfics They put little plastic pieces between the legs and the torso, so you have to pop them apart to pull them out there. Now let's check out his accessories. And this is version 1.5. The only accessories I see that are different are the knives. The straight razor, the 2 big knives, and the 6 small knives, none of which were included with the original release. The crowbar and the Joker cards were not there either, but everything else is already there. The hands, the heads, all the different guns, blast effects, display stand, eye articulation piece, etc. So, as far as I can tell, those are the only significant changes between this one is some extra added accessories, but we'll compare the 2 figures a little later in the video. Here's a look at his display stand. It comes in 3 separate pieces. When put together, it looks like this. We have a large base with a ton of different options where to put this post. And once you put it in, it has a rotation at the bottom, hinge at the bottom, hinge in the middle, hinge near the top, rotation at the top, and a clamp to hold your figure. Now let's look at his hands. He has a total of 12 of them, 6 left hands and 6 right hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. And here's his second pair of hands. This is a pair of gripping hands with trigger fingers. And his third pair of hands. These hands look like they could possibly be pointing, but I'm pretty sure these are intended to hold the Joker cards. And here's his fourth pair of hands. This actually is a pair of pointing hands. Here's his fifth pair of hands. This is a pair of creepy grabbing hands. And here's his sixth pair of hands. This is a pair of open hands. Now let's look at his heads. He has 2 of them. One has a large smile, and one is laughing maniacally. Here he is with his first head. This one has a big smile on his face and the intense eyes. And here's his second head. This is him laughing maniacally. And here he is with no head on. He has this odd piece of hair that just sort of sits there, doesn't attach, and you put the rest of the head on top to kind of give him a full head of hair. Just everything about this guy is such a pain in the ass. This thing here, you keep swapping the heads on and off. It's constantly falling off. It doesn't lock into place or anything. I don't know why it isn't just part of the other part of the head. And the hands, too. Huge pain in the ass. You pull them out. They're really tight. The wrist peg comes out with them. Then you have to try to pull the wrist peg apart, shove back in there. I heated up each of the 12 pairs of hands, and it was still a pain in the ass. And this is just a stupid design. Look at that. The neck is giant. It looks ridiculous. He has this little piece of hair that sits there and doesn't attach in any way, shape, or form. It has these little, I don't know, pegs, whatever on the inside. And it literally just sits there. You have to navigate the head on top of that. Just such a terrible design. Once again, there are those ugly-ass shoulders sticking up. At least you have these shoulder pads you can kind of use to cover them up. But there is no chance of covering up those elbows unless you're really tactful and you shoot them in a certain way where you can't see them. What a shitty action figure design. Now to talk about his eye articulation, which is another thing which is a pain in the ass to work. So you have this little tool here. It's got, I don't know, like little sort of pointer things. And you got this figure here. You can kind of see I was already messing with one of the eyes. On the back, there are these little holes where the eyes go. Take this thing, sort of plug it into the eye there. And like I said, it's pretty difficult to do, especially without being able to see the front. You got the eye there. And you can actually kind of move the eye around. It's a very big pain in the ass, especially without being able to see what I'm doing behind. But it has potential to be a cool feature. Set them up any way you want. Side eyes, up and down eyes, eyes looking straight ahead. It's a cool feature, but it's too much of a pain in the ass to execute if you ask me. Then we have 2 sets of playing cards. Each one is a set of 3. This one has the Joker, 4 of diamonds, 10 of clubs, and has a little peg to attach to his hand. Now the other set has Batman, 2 of spades, and it looks like the 8 of hearts. Here's a look at the Joker holding those cards. They have little holes for the pegs in the cards in the palm of his hand. It's actually a pretty cool effect. The cards are cool. Now we have the set of chattering teeth, which is a really cool accessory for a Joker figure. They're pretty small. They have a little wind-up thing on the side. Like I said, excellent accessory for a Joker figure. And here's Joker holding that set of chattering teeth. Now let's look at this Joker cane. It's a pink or purple cane. At the top, the handle's like a golden jester. Looks pretty cool. A little gold tip at the bottom as well. Here's a look at the Joker holding up his Joker cane. And then here's the Joker leaning on his cane with both hands. Next we have this crowbar, which is a signature weapon of the Joker's. Just ask Robin. It's a pretty good looking crowbar. Seems a little long, but that'll just make it work with my 7-inch figures. Here's the Joker holding and leaning that crowbar behind his neck. Now let's look at his knives. He has a bunch of them. 2 larger knives like so. Blade looks very nice. He's got 1 straight razor here. It does not hinge, no articulation, but still a pretty cool accessory. And then he has 2 groups of 3 knives, which have a little peg that he's going to hold into his hand, like so. Here's the Joker, holding all 6 of those knives attached to his hands. Here's the Joker, holding those 2 larger regular knives, then holding that straight razor, and I'm pretty sure he's not coming to give you a clean shave. Now let's look at his guns. He has 5 guns and 2 blast effects. Not really sure how this guy's able to come with guns, but it's an import figure. Maybe that has something to do with it. The previous version of Joker also came with guns, and that was during the no gun ban. The no gun ban is still in effect, but it seems like some of the higher priced items aimed at a higher age collector can get away with guns. He's got 2 Tommy guns, 3 revolvers, 1 with a bang, sort of flag sticking out, and 2 blast effects. He doesn't really need all these guns, but I'm really happy to have them to give to some other figures. Tommy gun in particular can never have too many of these. Perfect weapon for a gangster. See the big drum there, 2 handles, sculpt is on point. And then we have 3 of these revolvers. Typically when Joker uses a revolver, it has a really exaggerated barrel, which these do not have. The one in the middle here has the bang flag, which is pretty cool. And then it has these blast effects. It looks like they're going to attach, kind of just shove the gun barrel in the back. Here's the Joker holding that Tommy gun. You can have 2 hands, 1 on the trigger, 1 supporting the rest of the gun. And if you want to add that blast effect, this is what it'll look like. Pretty cool if you ask me. His accessories are fantastic. Here's the Joker shooting that revolver with the bang flag. Here's the Joker holding both of the regular revolvers, then with both of the regular revolvers with blast effects. And it turns out he has 1 final accessory, which I almost threw away. I knew the first version came with this, but I didn't realize the second one did, and I'm glad I hadn't thrown the box in the trash yet, because they were still inside. These are some little sort of word bubbles that say ha 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 all over them. The background is transparent, so you can kind of simulate in the comics where he's laughing hysterically. And then the display stand here has a different attachment at the top where you can insert these things in, slide them in, and have it sort of behind the Joker. Here's an example of the laughing bubble sort of on display next to the Joker. Put it on him when he's beating Robin with a crowbar. Makes perfect sense. Now to check out the differences and similarities between the Amazing Yamaguchi version 1 Joker and the Amazing Yamaguchi version 1.5. We have the 1 on the left, 1.5 on the right. Now beyond a few additional accessories, they appear to be exactly the same figure. Paint job is slightly different, so let's take a closer look. So, starting with their heads, honestly they look the same to me. The outfit is done in the same colors. This one has, I don't know, a little bit more of a shine or metallic purple. The green and the orange look to be pretty much the same. The hands, most of the accessories are the same. Like I said, the purple's just a little bit different to him, but that's probably just a factory thing. I don't really know what the differences are besides the accessories, so it seems to be just it. They have the same ugly-ass joints, same long neck. They seem to have the same flaws, and, just a few extra accessories. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. from bottom to the top of his head, standing about 6.4 inches tall, which can translate to just over 16 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, it can rotate side to side. He can look up like that and down like that. Very impressive range of motion, but that ugly ass long neck. Can tilt his head a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint. See, the shoulders look decent like this. Goes up about 90 degrees, up, down, around, but they can easily look just hideous like this. Sure, push that thing, try to cover it up. There's really no good solution for the elbows. He can rotate very nicely in the shoulders as well. Elbows are single jointed, but sort of double jointed at the same time. It's hard to explain. It has a piece between his articulation both at the bottom and the top. He can rotate. They just look so hideous. Yeah, you can try to cover them up and hide it from the camera, but that sucks. You have to do that. The wrists can rotate and hinged as well. He's got a joint in his torso. Rotate around, forward and back. Another one in his waist. Rotate around, forward and back. That one has way bigger range of motion than the other one. His coattail is even articulated. Be up, sort of swinging in the wind. Kind of move side to side a little bit. Legs, almost complete just splits. Some kind of a ball joint inside of there. Now there's rotation. Leg goes forward about that far. And whatever, I'll get that in a second. Back not much. It's a single joint knee, but it goes back super far, and that's hidden very nicely. Why can't they implement stuff like that with the elbows and the shoulders? And that is ankle. Forward and back a little bit. Rotate also a little bit. Tilt rock. And toe articulation. Now let's check them out. Next with some other action figures. Starting off with some other amazing Yamaguchi figures. Here's the new amazing Yamaguchi Joker next to the original version. This time the 1.5 is on the left and the original on the right. Here's the Joker next to the amazing Yamaguchi Batman. This is the first version, and I hate this figure. He's so ugly, and his cape is such a pain in the ass to deal with. And here he is next to Deathstroke. Another kind of ugly figure. Did not come out very good if you ask me. And here he is next to the amazing Yamaguchi Harley Quinn. They made 3 different versions. Traditional on the left, then the blue and red, and I believe the blonde one is an Ami Ami exclusive. There were some significant improvements with Harley Quinn. It seemed like maybe this line was heading the right direction. Then, next to the amazing Yamaguchi Arkham Knight, how about 2 of these figures, one of which to display my Red Hood shelf, and one on my Arkham Knight shelf. Once again, this figure showed significant improvement, and at the time was my favorite amazing Yamaguchi figure to date. And now, with the Arkham Knight Catwoman. She shares a lot of the same flaws as Joker. All the joints are hidden a lot better on her. She's significantly better than some of the older amazing Yamaguchi figures. But the articulation and the shoulder and elbow joints are just hideous. Not as bad as the Joker's though. And finally, next to the amazing Yamaguchi Arkham Knight Batman, which is a pretty solid release. He does have some of the similar issues. I really don't like the way the sort of hip crotch area looks, but the joints are hidden much better, and this is one of my favorite amazing Yamaguchi figures to date. Probably like the Arkham Knight the best, but this Batman is a close second. Here's my entire amazing Yamaguchi collection. I only get the Batman-related characters because, well, I'm a Batman-related collector. I really didn't like the original Batman. Deathstroke was a slight improvement. And then Harley Quinn came out, and I thought, oh, they're heading the right direction. Then Joker came out, and I'm like, nope, right back to the way they were. Arkham Knight came out, a lot better. Then Catwoman and Batman. And it seems like the line is improving and looking a little bit better, but honestly, I'm perplexed how people like these things. The hip, crotch area looks so bad. They're so stylized. They have this anime look to them. And I know anime is very popular, but like the Flash figure, the Superman, I think they all look hideous. Arkham Knight Batman and Arkham Knight themselves are 2 of the best releases in this line, but there are so many complaints I have about these figures. They fall apart, their joints look hideous, they're very stylized, they have that sort of cartoony look to them, their articulation is clunky and ugly. Drop it in the comments below. I want to know what is so appealing about these figures. They seem very popular. Now let's check them out. Next is some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's an amazing Yamaguchi figure, they're typically the 6-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of these smaller action figure lines I collect, and work my way larger, and I'm going to include as many Joker figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is with some Jazzwares Fortnite figures, and some SH Figure Arts Joker figures, and now with some Hasbro Marvel Legends and Mafex Joker figures. Here's Joker, next to Pistachio Muffin, and here he is with some Mattel and Mezco Joker figures, then with both some Jazzwares and Mattel wrestling figures, and now with some NECA and DC Direct figures, next with some Diamond Select Toys and Jakks Pacific wrestling figures, and finally with some McFarlane DC Multiverse Joker figures. So overall, it's an okay Joker figure. It is very stylized, much more so than to my liking. My biggest problems with him are going to be his joints. They are just so damn ugly. The shoulders and the elbows in particular. His neck is way too long. It looks hideous. And the overall look of the figure, the anime style, cartoony, very stylized look, it's just really not for me. I don't really understand the appeal of these guys. They're super articulated, sure, but it looks like shit half the time when you pose them. And there's just no way to cover up all that stuff without working really hard and putting them into poses that maybe you don't even want them to be into, just to try to cover up the elbows or the shoulders. The accessories are absolutely magnificent. Tons and endless amounts of accessories. The sculpt, it's good for what it is. The paint job is also good for what it is, but they have their flaws. Mainly, they're far too stylized. If I had to rate this guy, originally I wanted to say a 6 out of 10, but I hate to say it, I'm going to bump it down to a 5. His articulation is absolutely hideous. His face is pretty hideous. The coat jacket falls off. The neck is way too long. The hands are a pain in the ass to swap in and out. The head is a pain in the ass to swap in and out. The extra hairpiece is just stupid and just makes everything so much more difficult than it should be. Definitely getting a 5 out of 10. For an import figure with a high dollar like this, it sucks to be so disappointed. I knew that going into this. I had the previous version, and I kind of had those vibes getting that one. But I'm a completist when it comes to Batman action figures. I will get all of them in the 6 and 7 inch scale, and I'll give you honest reviews. If you think you'll like this guy, you probably won't. If you're blindly loyal to anime and that sort of stuff, yeah, you'll probably like him. But I think the figure leaves a lot to be desired, has a lot of opportunities, and I wish they would go a different direction with some of their releases. Do not misunderstand me. I really like the Arkham Knight and the Arkham Knight Batman. They're decent figures. They have their flaws, though, and I was pretty brutal in my reviews on Catwoman and Batman. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.